What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Our Way Out.
We back, baby.
Happy to be back. We took a little break because life just got busy for all of us.
World Cup,
We had the World Cup.
Spain, La Furia Roja.
Shout out to Spain. Although he was going for Argentina.
I was going, correction, I was going for Messi.
Yeah. But we're back and we're happy to be here and keep sharing the stories. And today we have a special guest with us, our friend, our brother, and CEO of AMITY, Doug Bond.
Awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's go. Yeah.
Doug, thank you for making time to come and have a conversation with us. I met you because I was at AMITY myself. Can you talk to us a little bit about yourself and what
Yeah.
AMITY is?
Yeah, I mean, Amity Foundation's been a therapeutic community, teaching therapeutic community for over 40 years. I came to Amity around the beginning of the 83. They got me out of foster care. They helped my father come home from prison. And my sister and I spent a few years there. We've evolved over the years. And, they helped me out in my 20s again, too. I would have probably ended up dead or in prison for the rest of my life. I didn't go to Amity when I was in my early 20s.
Fun.
And made a world of change. And today, really still focus on the emotional work that we do with people and trying to heal, trauma. We do a lot of workforce development, so making sure people have career paths. And that's something that we learned over the years. When I first came, we didn't really get people into jobs, and folks would end up back on Skid Row or just cycling back in and out of prison. So we had to figure out how to get people into good career paths. And then housing was another important component. Folks going down to a shelter on Skid Row after they got through our program or our services was not a good outcome. And so we tried to figure out ways to build more housing, help more people out. But
how many housings do you guys have, AMITY Foundation?
so we have 5 campuses. We oversee services to about 100 other locations just in LA.
Wow.
And then we serve about 139,000 people now. When I started, we were serving about 50.
Wow.
So now we're
It's huge.
serving about 15,000 people a day inside of the prisons. And then most of our work is helping other community-based orgs so they can do all the great work that they're doing in the community as well.
So cool.
Is it just here in California or are you guys in different states?
Yeah, we started out in Arizona years ago. We reincorporated and came to California in 1989, started the first prison program back in 1989, but we've done work in New Mexico and Texas, and then we help out other states. Rather than trying to be everywhere, we rather train and help other groups to learn what we do there.
I mean, 40 years of experience. You guys got it down. Mainly what type of like services when you said bringing programming into like the prisons and stuff with that?
So it's really substance use disorder treatment, cognitive behavioral therapy. When we think of anger management, a lot of it's emotional literacy. When we think of family relationships, what do people need to come home to rebuild with their family? So that's what we do on the inside. When they come home, we continue that and really teach people how to come home, how to decompress. What's the family relationship component look like? What's emotional literacy, moral development? And then we start off with self-help and reliance, individual reliance for folks, and trying to build. At the end of the day, it's building friendships. For me, when I went through Amity, all my reference points for what a friend was pretty bad. It was all related to things that were negative. So I had to learn how to be a good friend again, or learn how to be
have basic communication skills and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think when I was in Corcoran, there was a class held by Amity, and it was a communication skills class, and I remember doing that class, and it was pretty interesting to me because I had never been introduced to like a self-help group like that. So when I took it, it made me focus and see my language, the way I spoke. It was like a cuss word every every sentence or 3 or 4, and that communication skills class really helped me like change all that. Like just the way that I conducted myself, the way that I talked, the way I saw individuals, the way I refer to women. So those classes, and for like the people that are watching and are like, why are these programs necessary? Can you like elaborate and share more on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us that have been through a lot in our lives and kind of gone through everything that we've gone through, it's really a community as method approach, and having that peer-to-peer interaction, holding each other accountable, not just being in a real sterile clinical kind of medical environment, but really being with peers that have also gone through it. Is the kind of the secret sauce of the healing power of that. When I came to AMITY, I couldn't see what it looked like to be clean for 20 years or to be like out of doing, something crime or whatever you get involved in. But I could see what it was like for like a year. And somebody that related closer to me. At the time, I couldn't understand that I was trying to be a square. And so I could learn how to be a square from a square, but I couldn't wrap my head around that concept. I could wrap my head around the concept of this guy's been doing something different for a little while. Let me see if I could do that.
That's cool.
I actually went through AMITY myself.
Yeah.
I was there for 3 months, and that's where I met you and Mark Fawcett.
Shout out to Mark Fawcett.
Mark Fawcett. And it made all the difference for me because I got incarcerated at the age of 14. I came home when I was 27. And I was able to come home 6 months earlier to that transitional housing. And, all I knew was the system. I went in as a kid. I never had a job. I didn't know like anything. Incarceration in that world. So when I came to AMITY, I went through all those self-help programs because it's part of the process. It's a requirement.
And you went through MCRP, right?
The MCRP, so I had a so if you mess up, you go back to prison and you finish your time there, or you could do what you're supposed to do these self-help programs. Don't deviate from your path because.
You got to be on a straight line.
You're going to go to school. If you're still doing time, you're going to go to school, to work, and right back. And if you go anywhere else, they call it deviating. And that's a violation, and you're going back to prison. Finish your time over there instead of
being free.
Being free, you get good food.
That's right.
Good meals for you right there. Compared to prison.
That's Disneyland. I remember I was trying to, I remember it's like, 16 months before the house, you could request your counselor if they could submit for you to golf. And like one of the requirements is like you have to be good for like 2 years prior, or I think even more than that. But you have to be good. And I remember when I seen the MCRP program advertised in the institutional channel, I was like, holy shit! I was like, I gotta get on my shit so I could get out and go there, right? But I ended up getting out a little early because of Prop 57. But my goal was to go to that because honestly, that AMITY provides so much like resources for you. But not only that, like it can really help you get on your feet. Because if you get on your shit, like if you get on it, like you could, by the time you're done with that program, you can have some money saved up.
That's right.
Because they, if I'm right, I know a lot of places do this, but they have a banking system where you make your check and you put it away like 70% or something like that, right?
Yeah, we actually require folks to save 75% of their income. The MCRP started, now it's 32 months income. We started it was 90 days, and it's it's a lot to get folks to come home early. There's a lot of responsibility with that, a lot of risk with that. That's why we make sure that folks are doing the right thing. Because we could have 1,000 people come home and do the right thing, but one person does the wrong thing, messes it up for a lot of other people.
And that's the important thing too, as well as like for the individuals that are like seeing this or inside or family members, like it's actually a privilege to be able to go to a program like that, because like I said, like you're getting set up for success, and it's only a year. It's like for individuals that are coming home that done 10 years, what's a year? Because I run into a lot of people that come home is like, wow, I want to go here. I want to go do this. slow down.
You
You know,
either-
focus on yourself, stack that money, so when you get out of here, you have some money, you can get your own place. You know, you're set up.
I mean, you could either do your time in a cell or you could have some type of freedom. And like you said, going back to your point about the resources, once I got there, you know, they helped me get set up with my medical.
Yeah.
They took me to the DMV to get
Like you need that.
that makes a big difference because, you know, a lot of people come home and you know, like it's just so much sometimes that you forget about this.
That's right.
In there, they set you up with all this, and
And if you were 14 when you win it, you really don't know how to do that stuff on your own, you know.
I always think about it as we get on the freeway, we get on the freeway at an on-ramp, right? You get up to speed with all the other vehicles that are going 65 miles, 75 miles an hour. Going back into the community after doing that kind of time, you need an on-ramp to get back to the community, to get up to speed, to really, you know, get home, decompress, get all the things you need. And I always tell folks, once you start paying bills, bills don't stop. Once you start paying taxes, taxes don't stop. So take that time to focus on yourself, do the emotional work, do your personal work, save up money, get all the things that you need, and then, you know, you're going to be successful just like both of you are.
and it takes a lot of discipline too, because you know you do fight temptation.
Sure, of course.
You get a taste of freedom.
Yep.
Like when I used to go to school, I used to see people like go home, go eat somewhere.
Yep.
And I used to be like, man, I wish that was me.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have to remember, like, dude, you're almost there.
Sure.
It's about to be
Either
there.
you get to taste this,
Right.
or go back to a cell where you can't work on your future.
Right.
You know, you're
That's
stuck
true.
waiting.
Not making any money.
Those are hard decisions. Yeah, you got to make yourself. Like,
That's
what's
right.
more important.
Yeah, that was a changing factor for me. I went through AMITY and failed numerous times, you know, and people didn't give up on me, and I struggled with what you're talking about. And I think it's the fact that they didn't give up that made it harder for me to not give up on myself.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the things that we think about is like people are gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
You don't want to give up on folks just because they made a mistake.
Yeah, especially. Yeah, I know that's live. Especially going in at a young age like myself. Like,
Yeah.
I've been
That's right.
home 5 years now. I met you the first year I got out, and you know, you've been a mentor to me since. But I remember on that river trip, like, I felt really like safe and comfortable with you, and I was able to open up because you experience things. So for me, it was easy to like relate to you and like just talk to you. But I mean, these 5 years haven't been perfect for me.
Right.
Like, you know, they've been up and down, and it's honestly great mentors like you, like Scott, like Jersey, that's helped me stay on the path. Like, I mess up. I'm not perfect. I mess up here and there, but you guys are always giving me like the best advice, and I think that's like really important too, because like you said, like no one ever gave up on you, you know. And I feel like I constantly messed up here and there, but you guys are always there, and you guys always give me like the best advice, and I'm like, all right, you know, it's like it's a learning process, and I think like my advice to individuals is just be like willing to like learn, and like if you mess up, it's not the end of the day.
That's right.
Just keep learning from that. Don't be hard on yourself, you know, like that. And I think that's like something that's helped me, and I think something that Jersey always tells me is like, dude, you're too hard on yourself. I remember when he first told me that, and then after that, I was like, you know, I like reflect, and I was like, yeah, I think, I put too much pressure on myself. I get in my head too much.
Right.
And just, you know, just having great mentors like you guys has like really helped me get better in life. Just be a better person.
That's right. Now you're mentoring other people.
Yeah, you know, I'm just trying to like pass it down, like, because, you know, like you guys didn't give up on me, and I just got to keep on the right track. You know what I'm saying?
And are most of the staff at AMITY formerly incarcerated?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, our non-negotiable as an organization is we won't accept projects that don't allow us to hire the people that we serve. You know, and I say, like, from my position down, you know, everybody in the organization want them to represent who we serve. It doesn't mean that you've had to have gone through prison, but you got to have some empathy. And most people in the community have been impacted by incarceration or addiction or mental health. It may be a family member, or it may have been themselves. But we've really advocated for years to get to that point. Used to be you had to be out 5 years and off parole 5 years, so total of 8 maybe before you can go back into a prison. And those things have changed now. Now we have folks that are on parole that are going back inside. But if you don't hire the people that you serve, it doesn't speak very well to the work that you're doing.
Right.
How am I going to convince an employer? How am I going to talk to Jersey about hiring folks if I'm not willing to do the same?
Right. Yeah, and it's really important too, because if you hire the individuals that actually lived and been in there,
Yep.
they could relay help the next individual that are coming in.
That's
And
the
that's
secret
huge.
sauce. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like ultimately is seeing somebody that identifies and that you can familiarize yourself with more than somebody that cannot.
Yeah.
You think of like a hospital setting, and you go into a hospital and they're just telling you what's wrong with you. Nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
but we don't want to be a hospital setting. We want to be
Right.
more of a community-based setting. And we have both lived and learned experience, because you do need some folks that have clinical background, or as like at our campus, we have a doctor on site. You need both professionals that know their field, and then we're starting to build out a lot of our folks that have been home as those professionals. So I'd love to see more doctors, clinicians, all the professionals being our folks.
Yeah. And while I was there too, one thing that AMITY was big on was healthy eating.
Yeah.
Like they would show us videos
Right.
that inspire like healthy eating.
Yeah.
What inspired that?
Yeah, so our founder, Naya Arbiter, really believed in making sure that, as a person, that we're truly healthy. You see a lot of folks that come out of prison or stop using drugs, and then you start eating unhealthy food. I remember a really good friend of mine that I was in AMITY with, great guy, Ben. He came home, he ended up dying of a heart attack, and a lot of it was just his choice of food. And we don't think about how much food impacts your health, your wellness, and that's why we cook good food there. That's why we cook organic food and non-GMO food. We want people to have all that health because your mind's clear, and so your body's going to be in better health too. It's not just about getting chemicals out of your system.
Right.
Yesterday, no meat Mondays.
Still having no meat
No
Mondays.
meat Mondays?
Yeah,
Why?
Just to teach people that there's different foods out there that you can eat.
Okay, nice.
And a lot of our foods, you go to a high-end restaurant to get, and you're not going to get it in a normal environment. Some of the things, we want people to try different cultural foods as well, too.
Nice.
And, I think that's part of bringing people home, not separating people out that have been segregated
Right.
for a long period of time, is like, how do you try other cultural foods? How do you build community through
Right.
food? And I think that's an opportunity for us to build community is around food.
And also, I know you guys do. I've never been to one, but you always tell me it's the healing circles.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that and like how that started? And like,
Yeah. So Community's method really started out therapeutic communities. So back in the late 60s and 70s, folks were trying to figure out how to help people that were coming home from prison and jail. That had serious heroin addictions. And it used to be that you just put somebody in a psych ward if they had a heroin addiction.
oh, shit.
Or that you go through extreme measures. They didn't know how to treat it.
That's when they were like sticking stuff in people's eyes. When
They were, just trying things that weren't really working. You're right, and doing things that weren't effective. And so the circle is really peer-to-peer led. I'm sure you've sat in circles and know that process is that when I'm in a circle, I'm not the CEO. I'm just another person that's in that circle, and we put all the chairs in a circle for a reason. I don't want to be at the front teaching to a class. I want to be in a circle and participating in that. And I still sit in groups. I still go through the same process as others. That group process would help change lives, is because you're going to then start to relate to what other people's experiences have been through. You may not have been through every single thing, but I guarantee you felt the same emotions.
Right.
You've gone through the same feelings as someone else. You start seeing more of the commonalities of people than the differences of folks. And then that's where you can really hold folks accountable. You know, I've built friendships and relationships. We've had hard conversations. I've made promises that I've had to keep in those circles. And that's where, you know, really think about community as method. Community is a method to keep people out. And that's where it starts, is in those circles and in our community. So that's why we do them. You know, I believe in the organization, never giving that up, because it's not just like we were saying in a hot clinical environment. It's usually one person telling another person what they have to do. In a circle, we're telling each other what we have to do. And so it's more we than they.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
That's something I really admire about you, though, is that, you know, you're the CEO of AMITY. You have a team that can manage, you know, your organization, but you choose to still be very involved with the groups. You go to the events, like, for example, you guys just had river rafting with ARC.
Oh, yeah.
Other programs, and I always see you at all the events.
Yeah.
You were there volunteering with the firefighters. So that's inspiring to see, because in order to lead, you have to lead by example.
You got to lead by example.
That's exactly right.
How was the river rafting for you guys?
River rafting is great. I mean, I'd say for me, in my role, those are the things that I truly enjoy. You know, as role as CEO, you end up running a lot of the business of the organization. You know, I love the position to help other people, but the job can be taxing, as you can imagine. You get caught in politics and the business of things, and doing things like river rafting is like where my heart's at. It's where I can reconnect and remind myself this is why we do all the work that we do, is to connect with the folks that are on that trip. You know, again, when I'm on that trip, I'm not the CEO of anything. I'm just another guy in a boat going down a river trying to figure it out, not get flipped over.
And it gets crazy out there.
Not let anybody get on my boat.
Everyone's always trying to. It's funny. It's a lot. It gets really.
Where's it at?
It's in the middle
on the
fork.
America River.
America River.
So we start out. We spend the first night at ARC's ranch up there, which is cool.
You get to see the stars at night.
Yeah. What's that?
In Sacramento?
It's about 45 minutes from Sacramento. It's by Pine Grove and fire camps. So, and then we go about 16 miles down the river. It takes us 2 nights and 3 days.
Camp out.
You get to camp out. No phone, no distraction.
No service whatsoever. That's what I love about it too. But honestly, like how Doug was saying, like when you go there, it's like nothing really, like everything just pauses. Because you're surrounded by like the mountains and like nature and like all these green trees and like the river. And the river itself is like, it's spiritual. It's like, it's dangerous. So you like respect it. Like, you know, like you just have this sense of just like, just being grounded. Just feel grounded, you know, like. You sit there and you think about all your problems, and they really don't matter when you're there at that river. It's like if my life was just this river, like life would just be great. You know what I mean? Like, I remember being there this time around, and just thinking about 5 years ago when I first went, and I met Doug, and it was a group of us. I feel like that river trip was like the best river trip ever, because there were so many like connections and bonds that grew out of that. And like for me, like I don't really have like a big family out here in LA, and like the family I do have is like the family that I met in Reentry, you know, and like great mentors and whatnot. So to be back there with some of those individuals that I met, like Serger, Arthur, Angel, Jared Navas, you know, like you, like it was dope, because 5 years ago I made a lot of promises. I made a lot of goals for myself on that river. So when I went back and I saw it now, like 5 years forward, and I'm sitting there in the river by myself, like I literally sat there and I had a moment and I just prayed, because I was really grateful because of all the individuals that I met there. I made it so far. It's awesome. You know what I mean? And then after the last 2 years when I tore my ACL and all these like life things started happening, like I just had this sense of gratitude and like just this sense of just being free and just like not feeling the anxiety when I first came home, thinking like, what am I gonna do? What's my life gonna be? Like, what kind of job am I gonna get? Am I gonna be able to get a job? You know, because I was like 3 months out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to be there, fast forward 5 years with everyone, like it was my first time jumping off the cliff, like a rock cliff, and like I was sitting there, and right before I psyched myself out like so bad, and it was maybe like 20 feet, not even 20 feet, the rock that we went to, because we went back, and then I looked down, I was like, literally the Sergio and Nathan literally had to give me like a pep talk. And like right when they gave me the pep talk, like I thought about it and I was like this is the moment where I just let and I baptized myself and I let all the drama and all these negative people, negative relationships, like this is where I leave that behind. And I freaking jumped.
Overcome fear. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I jumped. And I came out of it and I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I could do it again. I could do it again. I was afraid of my knees, so when I jumped, I was like, all right, I'm back, baby. I swam back, and it was so refreshing. Sergio picked me up, and Sergio's my brother, man, and like I'm like really grateful to be in that circle and be with all these amazing men, and like to see like youngsters that are like my age coming to the river that I've only been out for a few days, a few weeks. We met a guy there that had just done 30 years, like fresh out, like 2 weeks. So just put myself in his shoe and what he was experiencing, and then to go in the circle and speak and be like, look, life might get tough at times because it does happen, right? People don't talk about this. It does, but it's like how you come out of that.
That's right.
So like you have all these individuals right here that you could relate to and reach out to, because that's honestly was what got me far. And honestly, like how Doug said, like now I'm able to like be able to talk and mentor and inspire others. For me, that's what it's about, because like if you're not doing it, like you're not really gonna help the next individual, feel comfortable. We don't want individuals that are coming home to end up feeling like they're not heard or belong, because eventually they just end up being back in the streets or falling back to the same habits, and here they go back to prison. Nobody wants that.
Wait, so how do you guys use the restroom over there? I know they
Well, some of it's in nature.
Best restroom ever.
They actually do. It's like a little portable toilet.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
There's a name to it.
Yeah.
Should we say?
I'll let you share the.
So the name is they gave the porta potty is Oscar, because it's someone that like they used to always come into the river. Oscar Bonilla, he's dope dude.
Oscar.
Yeah, so Oscar was the one that was always like trying to rally up people to go against Scott. So there's also the Scott boats, because Scott is always protected, and there's the other side, which is like mainly the youngsters of the second trip that ends up coming. That's like, we're gonna get Scott. We're gonna flip Scott. So everybody's it's like 6-on-6. Everybody's trying to throw everybody off the boat. Over like 60, 80 people come on that river, all former incarcerated. That when they get in that river, it's just like they're a bunch of kids again. We got a bunch of 40, 50, 60 years old that like they're kids again, bro.
Having fun. Yeah. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, it really is.
Detached from all electronics and just build healthy relationships and friendships, and so it's a cool.
And David's never been to it.
I know, we got to get him
Dude,
on there.
like what? Like
we got invited this last time, but because of work we couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
Scott Bunny.
Scotty.
He tells me that's his favorite thing to do.
Dude.
Isn't my favorite thing to do in the whole world.
Yeah.
Because
he does a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Twice a year. Twice a year, right?
Yeah. Twice a year. I agree.
So I gotta come out. Next time the schedule works out.
We gotta come. Jersey too.
Yeah.
Jersey.
I'll say I travel all over the world, and that's one of my favorite things to go on. No matter where I've been, that's one of the favorite trips I do.
And I see the videos on Instagram, and it looks amazing. And I end up having, when I see them, I'm like, man, I should have gone.
Yeah.
I'll make it out there eventually when the time is right.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to hear that, that's also like not only is it like a nature trip, but it's a healing trip.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You have people that are in different seasons in their lives.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's like awesome to see and be in a circle and like you said, be able to share
That's right.
your advice. Like, look, you're gonna face some things in life, but you're gonna get past it. You know, it's how you deal with it that really matters. You could either let it break you, or you know, it's gonna strengthen you.
That's right.
So that's why I want to go and you know, because I need that too.
Yeah, of course.
You know, let it. It's healing for yourself.
You gotta always take care of yourself. You're going down the river, you can't do it alone. You're on a boat with 6 other people.
You got to work as
no
a
matter,
team.
You got to work as a team. You got to figure out how to all the things that we ask people to do in the community.
And they feed you guys there?
Yeah, oh yeah, they feed us well. Yeah, oh yeah.
Breakfast,
Great
lunch,
food.
and dinner.
Great food, yeah.
Yeah.
Not like packed lunches like
No.
No, they make it right down the spot.
Yeah, they got guides on it.
Yeah.
The guides help make
Yeah.
great meals, and yeah,
Do they already have all
we
that
burn a lot of
stuff?
carbs. So
Yeah, we put
what's
a lot.
no, they set up a whole like
Bring all that
tables
stuff.
and you know they cook right there.
They bring all that material.
All the
with
food.
them?
Yeah, we have 3 boats that are packed down with all the
Yeah, they
gear.
have gear boats, and then those they're like bigger gear boats,
Yeah.
and there's just one guy in there.
It's everybody's luggage. Yeah.
All our luggage, they go in these like water packs, all the food, water pack, like everything is nice and protected, strap, like for 3 days, just enough material for 3 days. Yeah,
And it's good food.
Great food.
yeah, great.
Oh yeah.
And then the sleeping,
Yeah.
they give you like these little, like thin
Yeah. Mats.
mats.
Yeah.
They fold and then you extend it, you put it on top of a tarp, and that's your bed. You literally sleep outside in the
Sleeping
mountain.
bag, looking up at the stars.
Looking up
yeah.
at the stars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're.
And you
then we
hear
get
the
up early,
river.
like 4 or 5 a.m. for coffee.
4:30. These guys do like 4. I wake up at 8. Bro, I need my sleep, bro. But this time,
Doug always wakes up late.
Yeah. Oh,
dude,
yeah.
this time I woke up early.
You
this,
did.
Yeah, I was.
You got
like
light coffee. Maybe 3rd batch.
Me, yeah. Me, Arthur, and like Arthur, Sergio,
That's
a bunch
right.
of us. We're gonna go on a 5 a.m. swim. We didn't do it till like
Water's
6,
freezing.
6:30.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, that was the most people we ever rallied up. Like a bunch of youngsters too. They were like, "Well, dude, we pumped a bunch of
You
people
don't need
up."
coffee after
Dude,
that.
we just freaking everyone. It was like 15, 16 of us. Swam across, just jumped in, no life vests or nothing. Swam across, bro. Tradition, bro. Yeah, it's a tradition, bro. But it's nice to get in that freezing water. You don't even feel your bones or anything.
See, so you guys ever like run into animals like bears or anything?
You don't run into them, but you see them.
Yeah.
I saw a black bear. We're going
Yeah.
running up the mountain before as well too. You'll see some beautiful
mountain
animals.
lions
I think
there.
this time we saw like a hawk catching
Oh,
a snake. And
that
was
was
pretty
sick.
cool. Yeah.
It was a hawk carrying a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a brown eagle, wasn't it?
Something like that. Brown
Yeah.
eagle looked like that. Mexican flag.
bro.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, this dude was just flying. We're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that must have been a good. That was a good sign right there.
right?
Obviously,
It's definitely a
Yeah.
good sign.
What do they tell you to do if like there's a bear around or anything like that?
They're usually not going to mess with you.
Make
And they're
noise.
black bears. They're not like grizzlies or anything like that. So they
Make
usually,
noise.
if you see an animal, they want to be left alone.
Oh, okay.
awesome, mountain lion, you got to be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
At the
Yeah, you don't
sea
leave
ranch.
food out or anything like
Yeah.
that. They are sea ranch, but usually they don't want to mess with you.
Yeah.
So Doug, what's next for you for Amity? What's like the 3-year goals for you guys?
You know, I think for us right now is trying to figure out like what you went the project you went through MCRP. We're trying to get more folks home. I think that's the way to bring people home. Frankly, there's about 10,000 people on a wait list for that
Oh wow.
right now that could come home.
Right.
If you think about, all the benefit that had for you, we need to do that for more people. So we want to build that out, for a lot of and I want to teach other groups to do it.
Nice.
We don't want to be the only group doing it. You want to build out other groups to learn how to do it. I think for us as an organization, want to be a mentor, to other organizations because you see so many groups starting up right now and so many new nonprofits. They really want to help make sure that they are successful in their goals and that they're on the right track. I think the other thing that I think about is all the youth stuff going on right now after we closed down Department of Juvenile Justice.
SYTF.
What the SYS Secure Youth Track Facility, try not talking acronyms.
Yeah.
All the youth that are realigned to county probation camps are really getting or not getting, and want to make sure that they're getting everything to avoid going back, and coming back 25 years later. And if we're not careful, these young folks are going to end up in a situation where they come back 20 years later or don't come back at all.
Yeah.
So I've been really worried about that and really focused on that. And then personally, I think you always continue to evolve. It's beautiful watching all these generations of people coming home. Love mentoring other folks. Got to be more mindful of self-care, taking trips for perspective, taking time for perspective. I think that's one of the most important things as you do more is making sure that you have the time to be able to take on more as a person.
Is it easy for you to balance like amity work with family?
No, I'd say probably one of my, balance has always been a struggle for me is because Amity's been so much a part of my life for so long.
That is your family.
It is my family. But I have to be more mindful of like conscious time at home with my wife. My daughter's 22 now and she's getting older, and as families just got to focus that very intentional and make sure that I'm present for them. A lot of my first years, especially in leadership, were just spent grinding, and working all day and night, and still do that. But I just have to be more intentional about the time that I spend. And I want to teach some other folks to do this so I can see them rise and do other things as well, too. It's beautiful watching that.
That's right, Doug.
Well, Doug, if there's one piece of advice that you could share with our viewers, with or anyone that may come across this video, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I think taking time to get to know people. Relationships are so important. And whether it's on a river and getting to know friendships, or whether it's running an organization, I'm a big fan of like really developing authentic relationships with people. For me, it's being who I really am.
Yeah.
And if you're always grounded in that and being authentic, then, it's not really a challenge, to do that. And that's in any part of life. If I'm going through something personally, having people around that I can honestly open up to and discuss that, because no matter how long you've been doing this or how old you are, you're always going to run into challenges in life. And so having those folks around you that can be that authentic person or friendship is just super important.
That's really good.
And honestly, like this community, like we have like a big brotherhood.
That's right.
Just awesome individuals that really care and want the best for others. And that's what I love about you. That's what I love about Scott. That's what I love about Jersey and everybody that's doing this. And honestly, one of the reasons we came together is to be able to keep spreading that message of hope.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we all went through it. No one's perfect. We mess up. There's so much to be grateful for, and I'm just really grateful to be in your life and be
Likewise.
in this space too.
Likewise.
I really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, appreciate
sharing that story with us. Thank you.
Yeah, because that's what we're about too, all the way out, Chris.
That's right.
Getting those stories out there. We all have a story.
That's right.
And we all relate in some aspect, and also inspire each other at the same time.
Right.
We're all we have.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to see how it all connects. So thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
On there and sharing your story, your knowledge, your experience. Looking forward to seeing you on the next river.
Likewise. Yes. Yeah. Proud of you guys.
That took you a space for me on your boat.
Always. Yeah.
Now he's gonna have to go against you.
Since they should put him on with the youngsters, since he missed the last one.
But thank you so much, Doug, for your time.
Yeah. Likewise. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for doing this for so many people.
And before we go, we apologize for not, kicking out the last video, but that's coming soon. And we're promised to you that we're going to stay consistent. Keep liking, tuning in, and subscribing. I think that's all we're all.
All right.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.